lawyers for two women accusing French actor Gérard Depardieu of sexual assault have given their closing arguments today. They told the courthouse the 76-year-old is a predator and misogynist who, for decades, took advantage of the little people. Depardieu has rejected those accusations while acknowledging he does have a foul mouth. Now, if convicted, he faces up to 5 years in prison and a fine of €75,000. Antonia Kerrigan is covering the trial for us, and we can go across to her now. Antonia, good afternoon. What exactly happened on the closing day of this trial?
Well, this afternoon we heard from the closing arguments from the prosecution. The case that the prosecutor made was fairly simple. He said that, despite the enormous proportions that this case has taken on in the media due to the fame of Gérard Depardieu, this case is extremely simple. He said there are two women, two victims, who have been extremely constant in their testimony. There are three witnesses, eyewitnesses, who corroborate the alleged events of one of the assaults, who say that they saw the victim, Amélie, pinned against a wall between Gérard Depardieu's thighs on that film set back in 2021. And then he said there is one man who, since his initial arrest, has made multiple changes to his story. The defence lawyer has then took the floor, and he described an intentional campaign against his client, against the actor. He said that the investigative news site Mediapart, the French public service broadcast, the France Télé, and even some of the lawyers representing the victims were in some way in cahoots to bring down his client. He also commented on some of the women who testified this week, who claimed they too were sexually assaulted by Gérard Depardieu, but in incidents that are now past the statute of limitations. He commented that they came to this trial and gave their testimony as part of a game of who's going to be on TV and say I'm a victim. So from the defence lawyer, a huge amount of sarcasm directed towards the victims, the witnesses, and indeed the lawyers.
Antonia, what are these two women hoping, what outcome are they hoping for?
Well, of course, first and foremost, they hope to see Gérard Depardieu convicted of these two sexual assaults. They hope he will serve those 18 months in prison with the 3 years probation and be put on the sex offenders register, as the prosecutor has asked. They are both also asking for damages. Amélie to the tune of €12,000 for the original assault. Her lawyer pointed out that she didn't work for 18 months after the alleged incident, while Sarah has asked for €10,000 in damages. She has had health problems, including insomnia, anxiety, physical pain, as well as, of course, emotional trauma since the original alleged incident. Additionally, their lawyers both said today that they would be asking for €12,000 and €10,000, respectively, for the re-victimisation the lawyers say they've experienced during this court case. For instance, when Amélie had to leave the room yesterday, and the defence lawyer drew the court's attention to her leaving the room because she was overcome with emotion, saying that not that it was because she couldn't handle the suffering she was undergoing as she was experiencing all this testimony, but that she had been embarrassed as light was shed on the truth. So once again, the defence lawyers have had an extremely aggressive strategy with the victims and their lawyers, and so these lawyers have asked for additional damages for what they are calling re-victimisation. Sarah, her lawyer, said to the judges, addressing the judges, reminded them €10,000 to Gérard Depardieu is about 10 cents to you, is what she said.
Antonia, thank you very much for the update. Antonia Kerrigan covering that trial for us from Paris.